What's up, y'all? Preston for Fight Media 360 here. So this is a quick preview and prediction for Akeem Ennis Brown versus Sam Maxwell. So before we get into all this, I just want to say this fight will be taking place on Saturday, August the 28th. And I believe this will be pay-per-view over here in America. I'm not sure in Britain, but I know it over here in America. I think over there it's pay-per-view too, but over here it's also pay-per-view. So if you want to watch this, you have to pay for it on Fight TV, and I prefer you not to. I just don't think it's worth it. And yeah. So now we got that out the way. So now let's talk about their stats and then the odds and then what they need to do to win, and then my final prediction. So let's start off with Akeem Ennis Brown. Akeem Ennis Brown comes into the fight with a record of 14 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 1 win coming by way of knockout. He stands at a height of 5'11" and his reach is unknown, and he is an orthodox fighter. Sam Maxwell comes into the fight with a record of 15 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 11 wins coming by way of knockout. He stands at a height of 5'10" and his reach is unknown, and he is also an orthodox fighter. Akeem Ennis Brown is listed as a negative 152 favorite over Sam Maxwell. So yeah. So now we got that out the way. So now I'll talk about what they need to do to win, and then my final prediction. So let's start off with the slight favorite, Akeem Ennis Brown. So what I'd like to see from Akeem Ennis Brown is I would like to see he needs to do what he does, bounce on his feet, be very, very fast, very, very slick, make Maxwell miss a lot of his shots. But also people act like he doesn't get hit. I mean, he doesn't get hit a whole lot, but he does like this sometimes stay in the pocket a little too long. When somebody's on the ropes, he likes to push him there and kind of be in the pocket for a little too long. And when you're going against a guy like Sam Maxwell, who carries a lot of power, if you're going against a guy like Sam Maxwell who carries a lot of power, there's a higher chance of you getting caught, and getting hurt by Sam Maxwell. So he definitely needs to just fight at your kind of range, and that's at mid range, and pretty much just try to box him at mid range. Use your height. I believe he has a longer reach. I'm not sure. I would say Maxwell probably has a slight reach advantage. But you need to use that jab against him, bounce on your feet, make Maxwell miss, try to counter him with shots. Even though, Ennis Brown isn't much of a power puncher, he definitely needs to, try to catch, Maxwell slipping, whenever he tries to punch, counter him with the hook or something like that, and then move around. But the key to this fight is the jab and the movement of Ennis Brown, because Maxwell, if you guys don't know, Sam Maxwell is most known for knocking out this one guy. I don't know his name, but he was losing almost the whole fight, but then he caught this guy in the later rounds because he was showboating, and then he caught this guy Flesh and knocked him clean out, right on the chin. But he was also getting outboxed, and the guy that he was fighting, he only had one knockout, and Ennis Brown has 1 knockout also, but he is more skilled. So he definitely needs to take that advantage, take his boxing advantage, and pretty much to try to shoot that jab at Maxwell, frustrate Maxwell, and move your feet around, make Maxwell miss, and all that, and pretty much just outbox Maxwell and dominate the fight. So that's what Akeem Ennis Brown needs to do to win. So yeah. So now for Sam Maxwell needs to box a lot better, because Sam Maxwell really tries to, but it's really not the best boxing technique. It's very awkward. He definitely needs to use his jab more in this fight, and kind of have a high guard. No, not a high guard, but maybe I would prefer you to have a high guard against Ennis, and then when you're trying to do a jab, counter him with the hook, or you could just have a southpaw stand. But I don't whatever he's comfortable with, but I would prefer him having a high guard, and then pretty much just try to time him every time whenever Ennis Brown punches, and then pretty much just try to bully Ennis Brown. Push him to the ropes, like unleash it with punches against him. You know, counter him with some shots because Ennis Brown is very very difficult to hit. So he definitely needs to counter him like very very quickly every time whenever Ennis Brown like tries to punch because it's a matter of time until like for you to punch Ennis Brown because Ennis Brown has phenomenal head movement. So he definitely needs to like like kind of like work on your speed, like try to like hit him as fast as you can and as hard as you can, and then move out the way, and then pretty much and also break down the body of Ennis because if you can break down the body of Ennis, you can like that was really slow down as Ennis Brown, and make him not be so fast with his footwork, you know, and really tire him out, and then that's when you can start unleashing with punches, uppercuts, like face shots, body shots, and then try to look for the stoppage. So that's what Sam Maxwell needs to do to win. So yeah. So my final prediction for this fight, this is a good fight, man. This is a good fight. Like I have a soft spot for Sam Maxwell. I do think he's a good fighter, but I think the right choice is probably Akeem Ennis Brown. The reason why is because he's so goddamn slick. Like even though I don't I don't really credit guys who don't really have enough power really, but he's really really slick. He's very slick. Like he knows how to use the jab very very well. He like all what Ennis needs to do is not to be in the pocket too long. I just think that he's gonna be aware of what kind of power Maxwell has, and I just think that he's gonna dominate the fight. I think that Maxwell's gonna have trouble coming in the inside because I feel like a lot of Maxwell's punches is gonna miss because of how slick Ennis is, and I just think that that would really drain his energy. And Ennis Brown has a lot better cardio than Maxwell, even though both of them even though Maxwell does have terrible cardio, but especially if he misses a lot of punches, that would really really drain his tank. And when he's tired, that's when Ennis will just start dominating, do whatever he wants, just beat him up at mid range, outbox him, and yeah. And that's why I picked Akeem Ennis Brown to win this fight by a pretty wide unanimous decision. So yeah. So that's my final prediction. I got Akeem Ennis Brown by a very wide unanimous decision. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm Preston from Fight Media 360, and thank you all for watching this video.